Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, it is Sunday night. It's the second time I've streamed this week. It doesn't feel that long ago since I did a stream, and I tell you why. Because we took that apart. Now, I've had loads of people asking, did it go back together? Does it work? Is it broken? Let me just go to the overhead. Don't worry, she's fine. In fact, I have to say, the reassembly on this wasn't as bad as it looked, if I'm honest. Let me put myself up there in the corner. Hello! It wasn't too bad. Once you understand it, it's horrible to take apart, but reassembly-wise, it's not too bad at all. And, yeah, no real signs. The only thing you can really tell is you get some marks on these like plastic covers down here that have to be refitted. They are really easy to break. You can see there a little bit that it doesn't. I think once they've been taken off once, you're going to always see that they've been taken apart. But other than that, she went back together as it should do. Now, tonight, we have a lot to talk about because I also have literally some breaking news at the point of me doing this stream, and that is there is an FCC hack for the Avata 2 in CE regions. It isn't ham right now, but we're still trying to understand what is going on with ham. But what I can confirm is Drone Tweaks does work. They very kindly gave me access to the app to test. I have put it through the spectrum analysis. It not only unlocks auto channels to allow you to go into manual channel selection, it also forces the RF output to full power as well. It is working. I can confirm it. Now, this isn't free. This is a charged app, so I can't say it's something that's going to be perfect for everyone, but it is available and working. Now, I've got a lot more testing to do, and I want to say a huge thank you to the guys over at Drone Tweaks for giving me a copy to play with. I haven't finished yet. I had the app at 1:30, half an hour ago, and I've just tested it and it works. I need to check something because I actually think if you... this isn't confirmed yet, but I actually think the ham filing combination with it may leave it in FCC mode, but we need to check that. I had some trouble getting it to undo, is what I'll say, and I happen to have the ham file on the SD card, so I do need to check. So, here and now, before we get into it all, I will just confirm what the situation is today with regards to FCC mode on the Avata 2 in CE regions. There's a lot of confusion around this. People are not sure what the situation is, and it's really simple. if you're in... Okay. Something just jumped off a shelf. If you are in... I'm going to do it one more time because that distracted me. If you are in FCC region already, the ham file will allow you to have more channels. You can use the ham file to increase your channel numbers. It doesn't increase the power output because it never did. It increases the amount of channels. However, today in FCC region, as far as I understand it, your Avata 2 will have the manual channel mode grayed out, and ham file does nothing. I can confirm Drone Tweaks unlocks the channel mode and it chucks it into FCC mode as well. That I can confirm. Now we've just got to understand it a bit more. What is a little bit weird around this is that my understanding is the ham file should work. What I'm going to say around this is this. We don't believe DJI have intentionally blocked ham. We don't believe this, the fact it's not working is any intentional way of preventing people doing it. We think it's a quirk, but we just don't understand why at the moment. And I don't even know if DJI know it doesn't work. I don't confirm that. Applying Drone Tweaks ungrays, but gives me one more channel. Using ham then gives me 3. Yes, but you got to understand, ham only increases the amount of channels. FCC mode only has 1 channel. Anyway, so Drone Tweaks is doing exactly what it should be doing. Drone Tweaks is pushing you into FCC mode. And that is where we're at today. I will also say this, and there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of talk around ham and FCC mode and all of this stuff, and people going, oh, look, DJI... No, let me wind backwards. I'm guilty of lying to you. Okay? I'm guilty on more than one occasion of creating a clickbait title and thumbnail called FCC hack. None of these are FCC hacks. All of these are internal ways of putting the system into a different mode. They are fully programmed by the manufacturer. There is no hack here. All of these, NACO _power, ham, are all text file mods to the system to say, hey, stick me in this mode. They are not illegitimate. They are completely manufactured by the people writing the software. It is no coincidence that when the FPV system released, it randomly appeared online that you could do this. It was no coincidence that when the Avata released, that ham file randomly appeared into the public. Manufacturers know that the legal restrictions in CE are challenging for them. And workarounds help alleviate that problem. So, if a manufacturer wanted to stop them working, they could just do it like that. Yet they don't. So that is the situation. So we're all guilty. We all call them hacks. They're not hacks. They are just not a hack in any way. They're just sanctioned modifications that they make you jump through a hoop to do. They could literally put a button in the goggles, but they're not allowed to. What I will say is this, and people have also... I need to do more testing on the more channels. I literally got this 20 minutes ago. You're going to have to give me time. It's irrelevant if it does or doesn't because the ham file will anyway. So it doesn't matter. Just stop worrying. You've got the ham file if you need it. The ham file will give you more channels regardless. I need to check it. It takes time. What I can tell you is you have FCC mode available. And I had the full range of channels, but I also had ham on the SD cards. You have to remember, DJI is not the bad guy with regards to ham. And here's another thing I will mention before we get into it. These antennas are not removable. Okay? Don't blame DJI. That's the requirement of certification. Don't blame the manufacturer. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say DJI could have got in trouble for the goggles too with the removable antennas because they should never have been removable. Is the remote ID module in the is a remote ID module in the faceplate support? There's no remote ID module in these goggles. There's a GPS antenna. There's no remote ID. Now I've got that out the way. We have a lot to talk about because not only did I tear this apart on that stream, I've now done, I'm not going to say a full tear down of the goggles, okay? Have I tried the defogging fan? Yes, the defogging fan on this is exactly the same as the defogging fan on the goggles too, and the defogging fan on the Integra. However, this has got a boost mode. And that is all software. And that could be brought to the goggles too and Integra. Watch this space. I thought commercial remote ID had to track the operator's location. It does. That's why there's GPS in the goggles. Doesn't mean there's a remote ID module in the goggles. It just means there's GPS. So, not only have we torn the drone down, and we're going to talk about this because I've flown it today. It has been flying. I've tried it. I've tested it. I've got some thoughts we're going to talk about on that. We're also going to talk about the goggles because I have had a full teardown. I'm not going to say full, but they have had a full teardown. And they are interesting. Yes, there's a fan on the goggles too. There's a fan in all the DJI goggles. It's not anti-fog. There's no specific anti-fog in any of these goggles. Yeah, the goggles have been torn down. Just to give you an idea of the point the goggles were torn down to, let me just get you up. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek of a video that is to come. Let me just find it. We're going to bring that up there. So, let me mute it because we don't want sound. 2 seconds, let me get it to the right point. So, to give you an idea, we have taken the goggles down right to the point of the module coming out. We've seen all the antennas. We've had a look inside. And I now have a much, much bigger understanding of what is going on. Overall, the design on these is very similar to the design of the Integras. But there was a little bit of a surprise in these goggles, and a surprise that I wasn't expecting. Now, before we get on to the goggles, we're going to talk about the Avata because, yes, it's back together, and I'm going to take a sip of my tea. I've got to fly it today. I'm going to move these out the way for a minute. And I want to talk about the drone before the goggles because there's quite a bit to talk about here. Now, I'm going to be doing questions a little bit more later on in the video. Right, so mine is all back together. No ifs, no buts, no maybe. Just some thoughts. Overall, it flies like the Avata. Okay? I can't really tell you if it flies any better or worse because it was so windy today, right? Honestly, I need to get the footage off this to show you. It was so windy today, it had to sit like that angle, right, just to stay straight. So I can't tell you. Overall, it flies like a DJI drone, right? There's nothing particularly special here. I do like the improvements to this, although it is horrible for left-handed users. DJI, in my opinion, being a special person that I am, and that is that I am ambidextrous. I can do bugger all with both hands, but I am left-handed, and this is not great for left-handeds. That button access there is horrible, and you can't get to the record button on the side. I think DJI should make a left-handed version of this remote, personally, or they need to do better and move that button, right? So that button there is in a crap show position for left-handed people. Just a complete waste of time. Hello, Ken. By Rice for your salt. That button is an absolute crap show position. And the wheel is just horrible. It's just not in the right position at all. It needs to be that way. They've put no thought into left or right-handedness at all. It's lighter. Overall, it does the job. I do think the improvements on this are better. I do like that sort of pull trigger to start. You know, it's got that little area there to start. There's really not a lot more to say about the remote other than that. With regards to the drone itself, it flies okay. It flies like an Avata. It's a bit bigger, a bit heavier, but it isn't. My only concerns with this, and we have seen this already, this is not remotely as strong as the Avata. If you remember, I made that video where we were showing it falling out the sky. I must have crashed my Avata about 100 times, and it's fine. You break a duct on this, you're screwed. This is going to break motor arms. My real points of concern on this quad, I'll be honest with you, are as follows. This area here and this area here, those two corners are asking for issues, right? This drone is not that strong. It is not like the Avata. The ducts are not like the Avata. What's sad is it is not going to be as repairable for a user. Now, how many... Let's be honest here. This drone isn't designed for you or me. Most of us in this live stream today. It's just not. It's a consumer drone designed for average users who are never going to repair it themselves anyway. They're going to buy the DJI kit, refresh, and send it off, and it'll be fixed by DJI. And that is the reality of it. But you do need to be careful. Do not think you can get away with this as much as you could as an Avata user. And probably my biggest warning is, if you're an Avata user, do not expect this to be as strong. Just don't. Be careful. Take it easy. It flies okay, no complaints. It is much quieter, much less intrusive noise-wise. Camera's decent. I haven't had the weather to try it properly. Is it faster? I can't tell you. It was like 35 mile an hour winds here today. I can't really comment on straight line speed. Look, it's all rather unexciting, if I'm honest. The craft itself is better in every way than the DJI Avata. There's no downsides other than it's not as strong. That's the truth. I can't tell you a single downside to this drone. It flies, to be honest, flight time-wise, it flies too long. I got bored after halfway through the second pack. No, I wouldn't. As for how strong this is, I wouldn't call it FPV drone weak, but I wouldn't call it Avata strong. It sits somewhere in the middle, is what it does. Yeah, in total, literally, it's fantastic at what it does. There's no other... If you're looking for an off-the-shelf, ready-to-fly Cinewhoop that is going to give you all of DJI's future, there's no downsides here. It's bloody good. Yeah. It's just a shame they haven't made it a little bit stronger. I'd have just liked it if it was a little bit stronger. I would love to see a CNC bottom plate for this. If someone comes out with a CNC bottom plate, Ken, are you there? Have you got your bumpers available for this now? I haven't looked. Ken, what's your Etsy store? For those who don't know, Ken Dobo has an Etsy store where he does a lot of printing. I'm guessing he's got his bumpers available for it. They're probably a good shout, if I'm honest. They will definitely be a good shout. They may offer a bit of protection. They may help. They may help. I really can't say much bad about the drone. I just can't, other than just be careful with it. Ken Dobo usually has his bumpers. I don't know if anyone else has got them. Look, if someone finds them online and they can print, as long as they're not stolen designs or anything like that, go for it. I don't know. Has he got Etsy or his website? Ken Dobo. I can't remember where he was listing stuff. I think he's still on Etsy. Yeah, he is. Ken's still on Etsy. I haven't looked, so let's have a quick look. Has he got it up here? There they are. So Ken has his bumpers. There you go. They'll offer a bit of help. Let me get off the image. 27 quid in the UK. Not sure what it is in the US, but there's Ken's bumpers for it there. I saw that image. The guy is mad. He's got his bumpers, which, look, it's not going to stop them breaking, but it's going to offer some additional shock absorption, which is going to be a benefit. I think they're probably worth a look if you're flying on concrete. That's for sure. So, yeah. Definitely worth considering. Really, from a drone point of view, I've really got no complaints. It's just a bit sad. It doesn't feel as strong, and you can feel it here, right? Sorry, let me go to the overhead. Things like this, right? You've got a lot of area here where there's flex, which you just didn't have on the other one. You can see it there. That whole area just moves. So just be careful with it, is what I would say. Now, I'm going to take a sip of my tea before I move on. Now, something interesting that we've known about, but I've refused to accept, and I still refuse to accept it on the remote controller until it comes out. However, I'll talk about picture-in-picture in a minute. The remote controller system on the Avata 2 works a bit differently than it did on the original the original Avata and most of DJI's products. This remote no longer works with the drone. The remote connects to the goggles communicate with the drone. There is no communication between this remote and that drone in flight. As a result of this, you cannot fly this drone on its own without goggles. You must always fly this drone with goggles. What it also now means, and we also believe this is the case for the standard remote, which will be here tomorrow, got it on its way. This is a lot cheaper because they're no longer using their custom chipset. And that's why the price has come down. So it is something to take into account that there is a difference in the behavior. But what DJI is doing this through the goggles now. So it's a pass-through behavior, basically, which is quite new. Now, there has been a huge amount of questions on the goggles, and I'm going to talk about them before we look at the teardown stuff and some of the more interesting technical stuff as well. The field of view on the goggles is definitely smaller, about the same as the Integras. I like it. I've got no major complaints. For me, I've confirmed flying them today that I can get clear end-to-end. They're really comfortable. I know people were worried about this design. Guys, they're fine. They're lovely. They're great. I've got no complaints. No complaints at all with the feature of the goggles. The antennas are non-removable. Okay? There's obviously GPS, which is mounted on the top here. Okay? So if you want to know where the GPS is, it is mounted on the top here. Right there. I'm also going to say, if you didn't see the teardown, the GPS antenna on the drone is there. So if you want to mount a GoPro, you want to keep it in that area there. We will have a look at the image in a minute. Today, these goggles are only compatible with the Avata 2, the Mini 4, and the Air 3. There is no O3 support on these goggles at this time. I am 99.9. Well, everything is removable. No, yes, they're not removable. They're the same antennas as the Integra. I am sure. They are the same antennas as the Integra. Yeah, if I pull really, really hard, they're actually screwed in, believe it or not. They are the same antenna as the Integra. Nothing's changed. I am 99.9% sure you will get O3 support on these goggles in the future. The only reason, in my opinion, you don't have O3 support today is DJI still has to sell all of the old stock of the Goggles 2 and Integra. DJI does not want to be left with loads of stock of those old goggles. So what they're going to do is they're not going to give it to this until they go. It's that simple. It may also be that they haven't had time to finish the firmware. But look, right now they have 2 other goggles on sale that support O3. They're going to wait for them to run out of stock first before they bring support to this. That's just a reality. They're getting people's money whatever happens. 99% of people don't understand the differences between the goggles, so people will just go, oh, I'll have them. Okay, they work with that. I'll buy them. That's the reality, okay? It's going to happen. If you want an opinion, I don't think you'll get Air Unit and Cadex Vista support, but I could be wrong on that. Don't hold me to it. I think this will break that support. Okay. As for Goggles 2 and Integra getting support for the Avata 2, I think it's fairly likely once sales slow down. You have to watch DJI. DJI's decisions are often made on business. So once this package sales slows, they'll then try to grab existing users by opening up on the older stuff. But there will be... I don't expect them to bring back dual boot. There's dual boot on these already. These have got 3 boot modes already. It's no different to the Goggles 2. It's the same setup. I don't think it's going to be any different. If the Avata is made to work with the older drone, the older goggles, there are some quirks that they're going to need to iron out, including this new RC behavior. Nurk said in his video that the Goggles 3 are backwards compatible with the Avata 2 and O3. They are not today. Okay, here's the truth. Some testers had firmware that had O3 support in it. So they got to see it. DJI removed it before release. Today, they are not compatible. That's the reality. Did the Goggles 2 already have a GPS module? No. So the Goggles 2 do not have a GPS module. The Goggles Integra did. That's the reality on... that's the reality on that side of things. Look, you've got to take into account this is business. Okay? They'll do certain things. I don't know if you'll get Air Unit. They will bring O3 support. It's just going to happen. Don't worry about it. Calm down. That'll happen. Now, as for a lot of the other stuff, we're just going to have to wait and see. Okay? It's as simple as that. There is, though, some things I want to talk about on my experience on these goggles, which are interesting in it. So, the pass-through. After Friday's stream, you may have got the impression that I thought it was a load of shite. I have to say, having used it today in 2D mode, the 3D mode makes me barf, okay? In 2D mode, I'm a little bit sold on it, okay? I quite like the pass-through feature. It's quite handy. I was flying today and I heard a noise next to me and I tapped it into pass-through and was able to look, and it was a dog that had crept up next to me I hadn't heard. And I was like, okay, I sort of get it. I think the field of view is too wide. I actually think and I think, I could be wrong on this. I have a feeling DJI is zooming in on these cameras intentionally. Because there's a point a couple of times where I've put it into pass-through mode and the field of view is a lot wider and then narrows in. It sort of goes pew, like that. And I think they are cropping in on the sensor. And I think if they gave us the wider view, it might be a bit better. My visual observer was walking around the field. I have to say, my pessimism on... Really, it was just a short flash of the Avata cinema screw. It bloody looked like my workshop. Oh, mind, you could be right. I tell you what, I might be being a tool here. Because the Avata might be pointing the same way. Dunas might have caught me out. Anyway, regardless, I quite liked the pass-through. I'm going to have to eat some humble pie. Yes, I said it was a load of shite. But you can't even fly with it. It isn't a complete crap show. It's mostly a crap show. That's as much as I'm going to admit. Yes, I may have been wrong on that. My phone rang a second. That's weird. So that's that. The fitment I'm happy with. The zoomed in lower latency. Could you technically be tracked found with a GPS unit in the goggles? No. It's not got a cellular signal. How are you going to get tracked and found? Never going to happen. Is your drone going to give out remote ID? Yes. And it's going to tell you where the pilot is? Yes. Sorry, if you're talking about, not the GPS, the aircraft will be transmitting remote ID, which will also have the pilot location. Yes, they can find you that way. Okay, just to cover the FCC hack again, because I covered it at the start of the stream, but I'm seeing loads of questions, and I'm going to do this really quick. Currently, in CE mode, the FCC ham file is not working. Drone Tweaks downloadable app for 27, 28 euros does put it in FCC mode and does give FCC RF power. I've confirmed it in the last half an hour. I have a lot more testing to do. I can't tell you any more than that because I've literally just found out. There are sporadic reports of people getting FCC working on test firmware, and there are sporadic reports of people getting it working, but I've not seen the evidence. I just still haven't seen anyone who's proven to me it worked. There may be the odd quirk. There is something we don't fully understand about the ham file. For most people out there, it doesn't work, including me. Oh, thank you, Guano FPV. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you have to connect your phone for remote ID? No. These goggles have GPS built in. You don't need to connect the remote. This one or the goggles too. Wait. Don't buy anything today. I won't answer that question today. Don't buy anything. Yeah, no, there's a lot ham-fisted. We need to wait and see. If 040 unit will be coming soon, probably not soon. Look, I would run the same release timescale as 03, probably Q3, Q4. Something like that, towards the end of the year. No, take soon as in September to December. Okay? That's what I would say. If it comes earlier, it's a bonus. Quick question. We have the Mavic 3 original and we're using the RC Pro for fire rescue department. We have trouble signal range using dual amplifier. It's still not great. Is 04 better than 03 plus? Okay. 04 is no dramatic improvement over 03 plus. Please don't be expecting any dramatic behavior changes. It is essentially the same system. One of the big reasons the Avata's range has improved is as follows. The Avata 1, the aircraft had 2 antennas. The Avata 2 has 4 antennas. The antennas are located here, 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 and here. Twice as many antennas in the drone. The DJI FPV goggles 2 and Integras and the V1s and 2s had 4 antennas. These goggles have 6. Yes, I just said that. There are 6 antennas for the OcuSync system. There is also a Wi-Fi antenna, stroke Bluetooth antenna, and there is also a 2.4 gigs antenna for the RC control link. There are 4 antennas that transmit on these and 2 that are receive only. There are other tweaks to the system, 30 milliseconds down to 24. That's just DJI software messing stuff around. At the end of the day, they've tweaked everything else. It's worth remembering, right? The main video chipset in this drone is the same chipset that is in the Avata 1 and 03. Don't get too excited for 04 in itself. If you put an 03 camera on this, other than the actual new antennas, it's basically the same system, other than some software tweaks. Yes, it's got 60 megabits a second. That's added in the new hardware. The new RF chipset isn't a dramatic night and day change. So DJI have managed to up the range. It's got more antennas. That's why they've upped the range. It's as simple as that. Now, there are a number of other changes on it as well, but the real key is, does the video link for 2.4... There's a video link for 2.4. It can use 2.4 or 5.8 for SDR. It's its own choice. It's constantly hopping around. Or 5.2. Does 2.4 give more range? I haven't tested that enough to tell you yet. If you look at the RF power levels, in theory it might, but it won't be a lot in it. Just read this. The Avata 2 speed in Europe is 19 milliseconds a second. Look, I haven't done speed tests. I can't comment. I haven't flown in acro mode yet. I don't have the remote. As far as I'm aware, acro mode is not limited. You can fly as fast as you want. There's no speed limit in acro mode. You can't have a speed limit in acro mode. It's not possible to have a speed limit in acro mode. Acro mode, the only way you can limit speed in acro mode is to actually force limit bank angle. You just can't do it. It's people talking nonsense. Have I done the Ken Heron test yet? I heard the FCC fact is in fact possible in the EU. Do you manage to confirm it? I have already spoke about FCC. Please, I'm not going to keep talking about FCC. I've already spoke. Today, drone tweaks works. I've seen no other evidence to say it does. I've already spoke about it. Please go back to the beginning of the video to check it out if you want to see it. That's the only thing I can really say. A second. What it's not going to do is be limited. So Fred has said speed is limited to 19, but not in acro mode. It can't. There's no way you can limit the speed in acro mode. It's not possible. Acro will be full release. If DJI is limiting it to 19 meters a second, then that will be limited to 19 meters a second in probably normal mode. Drone Tweaks has an iOS app. I've used it today, but you have to use their Nicholas Bacoa, you need the Remote 3 in manual mode to do FCC. I haven't tried it yet. I need to wait and see what happens. I'll test tomorrow. I have had a number of people, though, telling me it still doesn't work then, but let's wait and see. What is the difference between the O3 and the Avata 2 camera? Very different cameras. Completely different size sensors. But they both have the same video processing. It is limited in acro mode. You can't limit in acro mode. It's not freaking possible. You cannot limit speed in acro mode. It's physically not possible. How can you limit a speed of a drone in acro mode other than slowing the motors down? You can't. It's not possible. People are talking shit. You might throttle limit, but it's not going to do that on the fly. It's just not. It can't. They can't do it. It slows the motors. Well, I'll tell you tomorrow if it does, because I'll be flying it in acro mode. Throttle limit. So you're telling me they are going to actively throttle limit in acro mode? They're going to actively throttle limit in acro mode. I find that very hard to believe. RPM limit. Yeah, but that's not an RPM. That's just a motor speed limit. People don't understand velocity. It's just like, no. When will 04 unit be released? God knows. End of the year. What motors are they? I haven't counted the size yet. I haven't done that yet on them. Potato Jet got his up to 65 mile an hour in acro. Okay, that's a good target. There is a disclaimer on DJI spec page from Sean stating no faster than 19 meters a second with the manual mode in the EU regions. I just don't see how they can do it. The laws of physics apply here. You're going to have to limit the motor speed. All you can do is limit the motor speed or bank angle. You've only got two ways of limiting speed, motor speed or bank angle. Other regions is 27 meters a second. So the only thing they may have done is reduce the amount of power available in acro mode. Yeah, like a KV limit, or someone said like that. I'm in the UK, technically the EU from the old days. Like 90 or 80%. But it's not... Okay, so it's going to have a slower 90 meters a second. Here's a question. DJI is kicking himself in the jet. Well, they got no choice. Look, people have said this, right? DJI have to comply with the laws. They have no choice here. So non-removable antennas, limited RF power, limited speeds is law. They're not allowed to sell products if they don't comply. They're having to do this to comply. It's not their fault. No one should ever blame them. At the end of the day, they are required. We are lucky we've had workarounds for FCC. 68 kilometers an hour, pretty slow. It's not really slow for this thing, though. Does anyone really want to be flying that at that speed? Here's a genuine question. What are people buying this for? Because that's not what it's for. I'm not being funny, right? It's really not for that. What I always said about the Avata was it was the best slow-flying cinematic whoop out the box that I'd tried. Because what it was really good at is, you know, the small, slow estate agent stuff and stuff like that. It's not a drone to fly fast, guys. If you break the shell, it's dead. Ken got 60 miles an hour with a tailwind, did he? Goggles 3 good for FPV in the near future. Yeah, look, that's an interesting question. Okay, so this is going to lead us on. And we got 600 people here. Wow. There's a lot of people who are asking about these goggles for FPV. There is literally only a single reason to buy these goggles for standalone FPV, and that is for the camera pass-through. So whilst there's a lot of people here saying, oh, should I go and buy the Goggles 3? My real question to you is why? You can zoom out the screens on the Goggles 2 to get the same field of view as this, right? And have no vignetting or screen issues. You can buy the Integras that don't have those issues anyway. I don't really understand, because the Goggles 2 can be made to basically behave like these by reducing the field of view. And if you buy the Integras, you're getting that anyway, and it works with all the system. Genuinely, the best DJI goggle DJI makes today is the Integras. And I'll say this. If DJI release firmware for the Goggles 2 and Integra for this, I wouldn't go near these. I'd just get one of them cheap. Because what's the point? It's only for this drone. But the Integra doesn't have OLEDs. Yes, it does. The Integra is OLEDs, not LCDs, OLEDs. The Integra is the same displays as the Goggles 2. It's no different. It's only the optics that are different. Will the DVR record pass-through? Good question. I need to check. I did it today, and I don't know. Where's the SD card? There it is. I'll be honest, the Integras are probably the best deal out there when they get support. Let me just put this SD card in. SD card in a better place, not on the goggles. The goggles SD. Do you know what? That's probably the one thing I'll complain about on the goggle is the position of the SD card. It is shite. Sorry, one second. My chair is tangled in a cable. There. The SD card is really not good. Does the FCC hack make the Avata 2 invisible? No. Yeah, Fat Shark inspired, Bruce said. Yeah, and it's not great to get in and out. Let me just check, because I did do some camera view recording. I did some testing today. I'll show you how windy it was now. Oh, not that one. Let's have a look. You'll probably get to see how windy it was here today. Right, this was my first ever flight. Does the FCC hack remove the max speed limit in Europe? Don't know, we'll have to try. That's how windy it was, look. It's banking itself into the wind there, so I was just levelling up and turning and going, okay, having a look around at the test field a minute. That's how windy it was, look. It was turning itself into the wind. I was just getting used to the remote controller because I didn't really bother to read the instructions. This is how I was biking to the store today. Yeah, it was really bad here. Am I sure I'm not flying on a hillside? Honestly, it was, yeah. Yes, windy. If you disconnect the GPS in the goggles, does it still fly? I don't know. What you can do, and I will say this, is the goggles. Why am I not there? I'm there now. The GPS antenna is disconnectable on its own. Will 04 support goggles to an Integra? We have no idea. Sorry, it doesn't exist today. You're asking a question about something that hasn't even been made yet. It was very, very windy. Just the first flight to take it. Now, I want to see where pass-through happens, because I do try it. This was just a bit of a move around the field. This was my first trial to see how it was working. Let me just... Ooh. That's how windy it was, right? Look at it there. I'm going that way around, and look at it banking into the wind. So, let me just have a look. Because what I don't... No, it doesn't. It stops recording. That was the point. I put it in pass-through. Yes, pass-through doesn't... So, pass-through... Wait there, I'm trying to understand something here. Okay, so... Wait a minute, what's gone on here? Okay, that's incredibly interesting. I've just spotted something. Okay. So, normal goggles recording. Like this. OSD elements. It was set to record the OSD. Remember? It was set to record everything. When I entered pass-through, it stops recording the OSD, but it is still recording the video. So it stops recording the camera view and continues to record the video feed. That's rather interesting, because that's the goggles file, and I didn't change any settings. And what you can see here is me walking around, right, like an idiot, testing the camera view to see if it's working as I was looking through, because I brought the drone back to myself. And you can see, and boom, I put it back into camera view, and now it's recording the OSD and everything. So when in camera view, and it also stops and starts recording. That is interesting. That is very interesting. So there it is again, look. I was recording there and I was testing it. I went to pick something up, because you walk like an idiot. I was actually testing what it was like to pick things up and showed it to the camera. Yeah, Rocksteady is on in this. And I was walking round, look, to pick the bag up to test what the field of view was like on the camera. Because I wanted to see, could I do things with the field of view? Oh, did you see a glitch then? Did that glitch then in the recording? It might be... So, that is interesting. Oh, yeah, it's windy as hell. It is windy as hell. And then it's back with it there. So, yeah. Brody Reed, you can record the camera view if you disable the picture-in-picture and just have the full-screen camera view displayed. So annoying, though, that while in picture-in-picture mode, it doesn't record everything. Right. So, in camera view... So, if you turn off picture-in-picture, it'll switch over and record what you're seeing on the display. That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. That's interesting. Okay, now we understand that. So, from a goggle perspective, I got no complaints. Other than the SD card slot's quite awkward to get to. It's not great in the middle there. Honestly, the SD card sits very flat into the goggle on the overhead. Let me go in. If I just show you, it sits too close, if I'm honest. Let me just focus. Woohoo. If I put it in, it goes in upside down for starters. How's the fit on the forehead? Perfect for me. But when you put it in, right, you've got to put it in, and then it sort of latches, but it sits really flat. You've got to have a nail to get it in and out. It's not great. It's not great. So, with regards to a few things internally. Now, as I've said on these goggles already, they are 04. One of the big things I'm going to share with you guys is the fact, and I haven't shared this publicly yet, is that, as I said earlier, there are 6 antennas. Whilst everyone has wondered what is going on in here, the truth is, yes, there are 2 antennas in this top section of the goggle. That is 2 transmitting ones as well, as far as I understand it. Looking at everything, if I now start to bring up the stuff I want to show you guys, so give me a second. Not only does the head strap come into there, but we also get the antennas in the top as well. Now, I haven't sorted the imagery yet, so we're going to start and show you the goggles from the front is the module here. So you can see here at the front, you've got the sensor, which is the proximity sensor. We've got our lenses, we've got our optics, and all of our antenna cables up there. If you look, there's a few, you're not seeing too many because I've removed the others because we've only got the module installed at the moment. So this here is the GPS. That is actually just an antenna. It isn't the GPS module, and it goes down to here on the main board to the second UFL down. So it's not actually UFL, it's IPX. It's smaller. It's not UFL, by the way. It's the very, very small one. But that could, in theory, be disconnected. Let me just scroll through the images. That is obviously then the GPS antenna from the top. And then you can start to see all the other antennas that are fitted onto the goggles. So what we have is our Wi-Fi antenna here, which goes to the front. We've got our GNSS, which is our GPS, going to our GPS antenna on the top there. We've got antenna 0, antenna 1, antenna 2, antenna 3, which is SDR. So you'll notice that's OcuSync. So antenna 4 and antenna 5, which is also SDR OcuSync, which goes down to the front. And if we keep scrolling through, you can see the GPS antenna there in a bit more detail. There we have the front mounted antennas. This is the same as you find on the Goggles 2 and on the Goggles Integra. You have the fan mounted at the front with the cross antennas located in the front nose of the goggles, exactly the same as before. These are receive antennas only based on what I found so far, and they're going to ports 4 and 5 on the RF input. Let me just see if I can... There you go. There's a side-on image of the PCB antennas there. Giving you an idea of what they are. That is exactly the same setup as we had in the other ones. There's just an image of one of the cameras on the front, just so you guys can see it. This board, which hangs off the side, is the IMU board. That is used for the head tracking, but that's how it also knows how to change mode as well. You can see that there. This is actually interesting. On the bottom of each of the focus adjustments, there's an encoder stroke potentiometer that measures the position that brings the on-screen display up to tell you the focus that you selected. Now, this is a complete waste of time and engineering, yet DJI have done it. So on each side, there is literally an encoder. You can see the wires going into it. Why? Why have they done this? What was the reason for this? I don't know. But that's why when you turn the knob, it comes up on the screen and says 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. You can see it there. There you can see the fan and vents. The cooling setup on these goggles is identical to what we've seen on the Goggles 2 and Integra, basically. I don't see any better performance here from an anti-fog point of view. The only thing they might have done is given the goggles fan more power. It could be a stronger fan. What is cool is the boost feature on the goggles. Let me keep going through. And here is the pièce de résistance. Here is those built-in antennas hiding in the back of that bulge at the top. So not only is it where the cable comes in, you've got two antennas, which is antenna 2 and antenna 3 for the SDR system. And they are hiding in that bulge, linear polarized, dual band, 2.4 and 5.8 gigs. They're just giving you a closer look at the antenna. They're giving you a closer look at the antenna layout. You can see Wi-Fi and GNSS. That UFL gave me some trouble. I had to fix that. Now, I want to show you something else. We'll get to it in a minute. Let me just get to the front cover because I need to show you the other two antennas. Is there any mesh on the back of that antenna so it's directional from you? No, it's all plastic. Right on your forehead. It's my opinion they're transmitting antennas there. Right. That is the internal of the antennas that comes in at the side of the goggle. You can see it's actually clipped in and latched in. You can actually see through the hole down into the goggle. You can see that there. And now we're looking at one of the two antennas that are behind these bits of the goggles here. So these bits down the bottom, there's an antenna behind each of these as well. So that is the GFSK antenna, which is the 2.4 gigs. For the RC control. And you can see the wire going to that, to the board on the side. And then on the other side, let me find it. There it is. I need to rotate it because it's rotated. And on the other side, it's actually that way around because it's upside down, is the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna, which goes into the other side. And there is the PCB on the side. I do have a better image of it than that, which is the power input PCB, but also there's an RF chipset under there, but I couldn't see it. There you go. There's a better image. Built-in buzzer, the button with the GFSK, all down into there. Now, just to show you something, let me just find it. This is the full antenna layout. And I'm going to turn me out the way a minute. There you go. That is the full antenna setup and layout for the new DJI Goggles 3. There is a lot going on in there. There is an awful lot. Do we know the RF power output of the goggles? Capable of 33 dBm in FCC. There is an awful lot going on. Alien technology. Even I've wondered about having these on my head when you think about it. Killdozer FPV, if FPV is ionizing. Yeah. If we yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Pop off the GPS cable. Yeah, it's not that easy to do. You have to actually tear the goggles down. Where's the mind control antenna? Yeah. While the Avata is horizontal, yes, but you might be doing flips and rolls. Just incredible. Just an incredible amount going on. It took a lot of work, this document. They are downloading your brain. Thank you, Mike, for the super chat. I'm going to catch up on the super chats in a minute. Now, there will be a full dedicated video on the teardown coming. Captain Tape is available on my website. Yeah. There is a teardown video with the goggles coming. I'm actually going to recut the teardown video of the live stream where I took the drone apart separately as well. All of the images are there ready to go up on the FPV wiki once I get round to it. What I didn't choose to do was I chose not to take the boards off the goggles. I just didn't feel the need. Could the new 04 and RC3 replace TBS or Express RS system? No, I don't. Look, I don't care what DJI do with their remote system. I won't recommend it on a standalone quad. Personally, you should always use your own standalone RC system. Have I tested? Just going through the super chats. Right, I want to say a big thank you to everyone for the super chats so far. They've been incredible. Have I tested the 24 milliseconds latency in Goggles 3? No, not yet. I will be trying it. I'm not particularly in a rush to test it specifically, but I will check it in 100 hertz frames a second mode. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate all the other super chats for putting it back together. Thank you for that. I did. Did I? I tell you what was difficult, and this is something I don't know if I've shown here yet on the images. Something to be aware of. DJI glue all those antenna cables down. So where I showed you the antenna cables, let me just show you something. Because if you're considering taking this apart for antenna mods, you can... is it possible to solder a crossfire receiver on it? Yeah, DJI has no impact on your receiver choice. You can solder it to your flight controller. There is some quirks here that you need to be aware of. And one of the big ones is the amount of glue. So DJI cover all of those antenna connectors in glue. When I took the goggles apart, they were all covered in glue like that, to stop them coming off. Now, I've had to reapply glue for that. However, I will say with a little bit of heat, it will come off. What you see me doing here is this will actually go in the video. Hans, thank you for that. Drop test, 2 meters. Thank you for the super chat, but I don't really want to drop them. So what I ended up doing was using the heat gun on like 100C. 100 degrees C, not overcooking things, warming up the glue, and then it would actually peel off. You don't want to warm it too much that it starts to melt, but what you want to do is sort of warm it so it will peel off like this here. Yeah, 100C, it's like 400F, yeah. I didn't go too hot. But you just need to be aware of that whilst doing it to get it off. And then there was a bit more. Yeah, look, I could put my fingers in front of it and it wouldn't burn it. It wasn't on super hot. Yeah, I didn't want to get too much IPA in there, but you can see there that it did give me some jip, but it wasn't too bad. But just be aware of it if you are going to turn them. So, with regards to being able to modify the antennas, it's into Integra territory. You can do it, but it's going to be challenging. I'll be honest, if I was modifying the antennas on here, I'd be going at the top. I'd probably not even tear the goggles down, strip the top off, and I'd be unsoldering that coax and soldering that onto some other antennas is what I'd be doing, and not even tearing them down. So, that is most of that. Focus, thanks for the $5 super chat. That's incredible. Great work. Does this mean anything for the future of 04 to 03 compatibility in the Mini Pro and Air? Look, with regards to anything on 03 is technically compatible with 04 goggles. This is all down to what DJI decide to do. It's really that simple. I'm 99... Look, I'll bet money that DJI will bring 03. I won't bet it for everything else. Can we see how it looks with the camera mode on, like in the goggles? I don't know an easy way to do it because it doesn't pass through to the phone. So I need to figure a way of showing you it, but there's no easy way to do it. How many antennas did the Avata 2 have? 4. So the drone has 4. I don't know an easy way put your camera on one lens. Yeah, it's not easy to do as a standing here and doing. Where to buy me a coffee? I do have buy me a coffee if you check the link in the description. Put a GoPro up in the lens. Yeah. It's not easy to do on a live stream. I could put... I'm not convinced you do, Bruce, if I'm honest. People saying, do you need to change antennas? Yeah, I think I'm with you, Bruce. I'm not convinced you do. Is the Avata one still good value? I think this is very cheap. For the money, I think this was very cheap. I don't think I'd recommend the Avata 1 today. I'd get... Yeah, okay, so yeah, here's my stance. Don't buy an Avata 1. If you want something like that, go and buy an O3-based drone. The kit was a lot cheaper than we anticipated. What about compatibility with the Vista system? There is no compatibility on this on the Vista system. Avata 1 is much easier to repair. 100% agreed. 100%. Definitely easier to repair. I'm just waiting for them to come on. Right, let me see what I can show you. Right, let me just do some adjustments because this is whiting out. I need to turn the brightness down on the screens. Do you know what's funny? Just notice this. When you're in the menu system, you're actually in the menu system on the picture-in-picture. You're not in the menu system on the main screen. It literally looks like it's passing the cameras through. Right. Let me record this. Right, wait a minute. You're going to see... It's going to be hard for me to show you the zoom level, right? So I'm going to put this here a minute to show you the zoom level. Okay. So there you can see it. And I'm going to put this up on the screen. And then I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it in a recording. Right. And now, what I'm going to do... The camera is in wide mode. Okay. So now you're going to see... the camera recording in wide mode, no change at all. So you will see the difference in field of view. So this will give you an idea. Can you compare it to a DSLR zoom? Yeah, I could. Now, let me put this on so you guys can see. Ta-da! Now I'm going to have to connect this to the computer. 1 second. Two seconds. And then you'll get to see now the field of view. File transfer. Okay. Now you will get to see the field of view. Where is it? Why has that not come up? Oh, it didn't work. Now it does. Okay. So, to show you first of all, so that's the field of view of the workshop that's what I'm looking at, okay? So that just gives you an idea. That is the DJI Action 2 in wide. That gives you it there. Okay, so you can see me holding the camera. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing that full size there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to need to do is adjust this and zoom it a minute to get it right. And it's on its side. Bloody thing. Tools, effects and filters. Give me a second. I gotta bloody move it now. I don't want to crop. Oh, geometry. Rotate. Woo. And then I'll zoom in so you can then see what the field of view on the camera is. Okay, save, video, full screen. And I want to get that bigger. Come on. Playback. Zoom. Video. That's 2 to 1. Come on, can you not zoom any further? Oh, wait, right there. Let me show you. Right, do it this way. I'll show you the two. Cheating way of doing it. So, that is the field of view that you get in the goggle. Okay? You are literally seeing there to there compared to, let me just close that and bring it back on this. Now I've got to undo the bloody effects and filters. Geometry, turn that off, thank you. That was the field of view on the camera. It is only looking with one eye because it's not doing stereo zoom at that point. That is the 2D mode. I could try and show you the 3D mode if you really want me to. That versus that. So that's how cropped in it is. That is the, you know, what you're seeing is that square there. My brain, it makes me sick, Brody. I tried it yesterday and it looks absolutely horrific is how it looks. I'll do the 3D now. But that is how zoomed in it is. It's dramatically... Honestly, I felt like I want a bath. Okay, we'll go for the 3D mode. Let me do it. Let me just try something a minute. Okay, yeah, the field of view doesn't change with that. Okay, I just want to check something, that's all. Okay. Right, the field of view is exactly the same. The problem... Oh, you're not going to be able to see it because it's one eye for... I think it's one eye for one camera and one eye for the other. Ah, no, it isn't, actually. Where's the lens? No, it isn't. It isn't one eye for one and one eye for the other. They're overlaid. It's hard to show you it in here, but let me... Okay, let's get ready for this. Let's get ready for this. This is pretty horrific, by the way. I hope you're ready for the motion blur, because you're going to see it. It's weird. Yeah. It's weird indeed. Right, so I'm recording. So you're going from... Let me just bring my mic. You're making me do this. Ready? So we're going from that You can't see anything yet because I haven't got my finger over the sensor. Right, so I'm holding that there. I'm trying to hold this straight. Sorry about this. It's not easy to do. And I'm going to move to the side, and you're going to... I'm going to try... Right, this is very hard because I've got to have my finger... Right, try again. You will see in a minute the delay in the movement. It's frightening. The field of view is exactly the same. They could improve it, I guess. So let's wait and see. Right. This ain't going to be easy. I need to figure out a better way of playing this back. Where is it now? Let me just find it. So I can zoom in better. Let me, I'm not going to use OBS thing for that. I'm going to use, see what Windows Media, see if I open it in Windows Media Player. Open with Media Player. See if I can zoom it better on Media Player. Okay, so you get to see how that was looking as I was doing it. Right. Let me figure out how to zoom. Can you zoom in Media Player? Anyone know how? Video settings. Zoom to fill. What was that? Right there. Video settings. No. Video enhancements. No. I need a real big zoom. That's the field of view. Why isn't... What is it with these video playback programs that don't have proper... Ah, Control++. Was it Control Plus on Media Player, was it? Let's try it. You're going? No. No. Is it Control Plus in VLC? VLC doesn't have a good zoom. This is the problem. Control and mouse wheel. Is it? That says subtitle text scale. That doesn't give me... All that's doing is adjusting the subtitles. What about number keys? I've never found... In the shower, can't remember. Alt F4. Alt F4. Try again, shall we? That didn't work. If anyone knows how to zoom... Control Plus is for Windows. That's actually closed. Let me reopen that. F4 never works for me. Right, wait there. So, open with movies and TV. Right, so I'm recording. You'll for this, it's not. I've only got zoom to fill in Windows. That's literally all I have. I can cheat this. I can actually cheat this. There's a quicker way of me doing this. Just realised. It's a bloody quicker way of me doing this. Ready? Right. 1 second. I'm going to do it this way. There you go. You're going to watch it there. That's good enough. But that gives you an idea there of how it looks. Let me mute the audio. It'll come back now. Oh. So that's it there. And then it'll come on in a second. There you go. So that, again, this is the 3D mode. And you can see there's a blur to it. As you move, it all blurs. But that's the goggles. That is the goggles blur. Bringing you back. Ooh. There we go. It's like it's got a haze delay on it. No, it looks like that in real world. It looks horrible in the real world. It makes me sick. Is how horrible it looks. It makes me sick. So, do I think the upgrade is worth from the goggles 2? No. Honestly, there's a lot of people running around going, why do the goggles 3 have O3 support? Right, I get this if you've only got one set of goggles. There is no reason to get these if you're a goggles 2 or Avata or Integra user. You don't need these goggles. You don't need these. What these offer close to nothing worth having major range, penetration, latency. Range will be basically the same. Penetration has got fuck all to do with the goggles. And latency has fuck all to do with the goggles. DJI can make O3 24 milliseconds if they want to. They just haven't. They've tweaked the latency on O4. Software. They've changed things slightly. There's nothing on these that the Integras or the goggles 2 really have. Insanely more comfortable for big heads. Yes, they fit properly. That is the truth. That's the truth. They do fit really nice. Yeah, okay. The one thing they do is fit properly. There you go. 60 megabits. You won't have that. That is a new feature of the RF chipset. You won't have that on O3. You won't have that on O3. You're getting 10 more megabits a second. You ain't going to notice it. Trust me. Yeah, look, if you don't own any of the others, these are by far a better fit. There's no question about that. I need the Avata 2 for work, so I have the goggles 2 and the V1. I hate the goggles 2. I think you would like these more over the goggles 2. There's the truth. Do I think it's possible compatibility with goggles 2 or O3? How hard is the FCC hack to do? Today, the ham file doesn't work. As I said at the start, drone tweaks does unlock FCC mode. Battery life is... yeah, I can't comment on battery life yet. I'm really worried about them not feeling snug and bouncing around on my face. Should we demonstrate? Let me show you. All right, these are on. They do move. Let me just tighten that strap. They're fine. Nothing wrong with them. Will these ever be compatible with a 1980s toaster? Only Toasty the toaster. I do believe they're bringing support for Toasty the toaster. But they've got to put him back together first. Apparently, he had a bit of an accident. There's a GIF there. Oh, there's many GIFs. Me sniffing packaging on Friday night is a GIF. Talkie the toaster. That's it. Sorry, got it wrong. Talkie the toaster. Yes, they will be compatible with Talkie the toaster. DJI soft fit foam on the goggles really helps. Yeah, it's more of a bellows seal. It really is. Do we know the price for the goggles 3 alone? Yeah, the price is out there. It's under $500, which is too cheap in my opinion for DJI. They're up to something. Torquay the toaster. He had an accident with a hammer, apparently. Would you? Yeah, okay. So, if you want me to rate my goggles in the order of DJI, Goggles 2 versus Goggles 3 versus Goggles Integra. Okay. In order of comfortable, these are the most, alongside the Integras. These and the Integras are very similar. These are a bit more comfortable than the Integras. In order of face fit, these are better because they're not really on your face. They hang in front of your face and there's a bellows seal. The optics on these are very good, in line with the Integra for me. I can breathe in these goggles. However, yeah, I haven't watched Mr. Steele's video. I have literally watched one review of this system, and that was Joshua Bardwell's. And that's just been because of time. I don't quite understand the price drop. I'm intrigued why the price drop. I think there's nothing that doesn't add up. They've just chose to do it cheaper. No, I'm never happy. There's always a reason behind everything. Perhaps they'll bring out another premium set of goggles. Who knows? Perhaps these aren't the premium ones. Who knows? Because these are like the Integra pricing, aren't they? That's what they are. Steele has the best video by far. Has he? Okay, I'll have to watch it. I haven't done my review yet, so I don't really watch too much when I'm doing a review myself. Probably saw a sales jump when the price dropped. Yeah, that's a genuine thing. That could be. You've also got to take into account that DJI is still a big, nasty corporate entity. It does what suits DJI best. There are lots of things that we're going to be whinging like fuck about DJI too. The fact that we've had to buy a new remote is a complete joke. The fact that they've released them without O3 support is a complete joke. The fact that you can't use the old goggles with the drone on launch is a complete joke. And let's not, for 1 minute, say, oh, but DJI haven't had time. It's like fricking Apple releasing the next iPhone where the fricking camera doesn't work and Maps doesn't work. There is literally zero excuse for the world's #1, the largest drone in the manufacturer in the world, to release a product that doesn't work properly on day one with other parts of the system. But we're all in the cycle and we know how this goes. But it's still bullshit. It's deep. But look, it's bullshit that you have to understand. It's a game. It's a game of sales. They don't want to add support today because they need to sell all those other goggles. They don't want people looking at the new shiny goggle that isn't that much dearer than the goggle that's on sale and go, oh, well, that works with that. Oh, well, for only the $20 or $30 or $40, I can get that. Or we'll get the new one. And they're left with a warehouse full of old ones. They don't want that. It's a game they've always played. Look, let's not pretend it's anything different. DJI is a corporate entity that will always do what suits them best. We should never forget that. Doesn't mean we have to like it. You know, the only reason I'm not annoyed they don't work with O3 is because I have other goggles. It's not a problem. I do 100%, I'm 99.9% think they will have goggle support. The only problem with these goggles, and this is, if this goes the way it looks like from what I think will happen, these goggles are going to give some people a problem, because if they don't bring support on these for the air unit in Vista, for many people, that is still going to leave them in a difficult position, because these won't be the best option. these may work with O3 and O4, but everyone with a Cardix Air unit, Vista and Air unit, DJI, won't be able to use them. But then if they bring for them support for the Integras and the goggles too, they are going to be the best. They're going to become the V2s. The funny thing today is the V2 is the best option of goggles for FPV because it worked with everything apart from this now. That's the thing. It worked for this now, not this. But you could end up with the Integras in that position. It's satire, is it? Okay. Do I think DJI put out support? Look, I think it's in the air. A month, 2 months, 3 months. Let's wait and see. I think it will come. It will come. Tom said they should be able to support the Vistas maybe without controller support. I 100% agree. We'll just buy the box and everything works. The only geeks a minute, details of O3, whatever. Yeah, and Louis is right. Louis is absolutely right. And again, you have to remember, DJI isn't selling this to us. DJI is selling this to people buying Mavics. And you got to remember that. But what I will say, overall with this release, is this. There is really nothing bad here. The drone is better. The Avata 2 is better than the Avata 1 in almost every way, apart from one aspect, and that it isn't as tough. The Goggles 3 are better than the Goggles 2 in every way, apart from the fact you do have that battery on the back that doesn't suit everyone. Okay? Overall, this is a complete success, and you would rate it 98% there. There's no other words to use. The drone, the camera's better by a country mile. The drone flies longer. It flies further. It flies better. It doesn't have the problems. The goggles fit better. The field of view is smaller, but it is decent enough. The battery life is good. The cameras on the front are a bit quirky, but it's a feature nonetheless that you didn't have before. It's got improved antennas. It is better in every way, other than the two elements that I've mentioned. And there's nothing to come. And it's cheaper. You know, DJI have literally had a home run here. It's a complete home run. I'll be honest, I actually think it flies too long. I haven't flown Mavics and stuff a lot recently, and I forgot how long these new quads fly for. I'll be honest, into my second pack and I was bored. It flies too long. It's too good. If I'm going to criticize DJI for anything in this, and here's the one thing I can really criticize them for, is this annoyance of only selling the kit with this remote. Laurie, my remote should be here tomorrow. DJI shipped it on Friday, unfortunately. I ordered it Thursday, but they didn't ship it till Friday, so it's been shipped. About my only complaint is that they're shipping it with this only as an option, and I have to spend another £200 on a remote, which I take great grievance in, bearing in mind the only other fucking £200 radio that is in this building is the FR Sky, which is in a league of its own. DJI is absolutely ripping us off with their remote controller. And I mean ripping us off. Talk about ripping people off with that before, that's an understatement. The price of that thing in the past was insane. $99, I think that's okay now. I accept that. That's fine. The cost of that remote at $199 is complete and utter rip-off territory when you look at DJI's volumes compared to, say, Radio Master and the others. That's probably where I can criticize them. But let's be honest, DJI have their accessory pricing, and it is what it is. 150. Sorry, 150. I thought it was 200. Oh, was it $200? Sorry, I thought it was... Yeah, sorry, I was thinking of that release pricing initially. Yeah, 149. But, yeah, you know, you are talking still, you know, it should be a $90, $100 accessory. I'd be happy with that. Thinking of selling the goggles too for Integras, would you suggest it? No. I would just zoom out on the goggles too. You can zoom your field of view out to match the goggles too. About 80% gets you the same. I wonder if audience mode will work better with goggles 3. Potentially. I tell you something, there's something coming as well. You might... Now, I may have missed something here, and you need to tell me if I have. There is a mode on this that DJI are advertising that I've not seen anything for. Let me show you this. So, there is a wired connection mode on these goggles. It's not for updating firmware. It's not for doing anything like that. If we just go to the DJI website, right, and have a look at this. Not wireless audience mode, but there's a wired mode, right, on the goggles. Let me find it. 2 seconds. I gotta find the goggles. It's not that easy to find the goggles on their own. It's not the fly up on the phone. This is a special mode, right, in the goggles. Let me find the goggles. Right, here we go. Where's the picture for the goggles? Where is it? Is it on here? Let me just find it a minute. Now, I've tried it and it doesn't seem to do anything right now. Learn more. Goggles 3. Right. Found the page for the goggles 3. So, if we scroll down here, right. Now, interestingly, DJI's being a little bit clever in some of this wording. But there's a mode, right? You know, it's interesting. They say you select between 2.4 and 5.8 gigs bands. It also spends a lot of frickin' time in 5.2 gigs as well. Just remember that. One tap defog. I hope they bring that to the other goggles. There's no reason they can't. Talking about the lenses, micro LED, 700 nits, blah, 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 blah. The optics look really good on these goggles, I have to say that. Quick control with AR cursor. Now, this has sort of been underestimated. I've been trying to work out how DJI is actually doing this AR cursor. It's actually very good. Bearing in mind, right, that the likes of the Oculus are using cameras to watch your finger hands position. This isn't. It actually works very well. Right, let me find where they said it. It's not here. Where is it? Right. Look at this. Wired shearing live feed. It's over here. Wired shearing. Now, that is a mode that is available in the goggles. And you can enable it. But there's no software. Wired shearing live feed. Wired shearing live feed. And there's an option in the goggles. Yeah, it's there. It's that logo, right? but in the goggles, and there's a special mode for it, and you can select it. It's like an output, but I don't know where it goes. Is it there on the goggles too? I don't recall that mode being there on the goggles too. It's deep OTG. Yeah, it's like goggles OTG or something. That's it, Mike. You got it. It says OTG, goggle to goggle. It is like it's goggle to goggle. No, it's not like the fly app because you don't need to enable it for it to work. It's a special option. David Martin, I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. If influencers are not going to be transparent with this mix and match, then they're going to be in cahoots with each other. I don't know what you're talking about. Lost all confidence of FPV. The camera drones, they do the right thing. But when FPV coming out with a bait and switch, with the goggles, tune integras, lost my trust. DJI or DJI. Look, they'll always do what they do. Yeah, it's weird. There's a new mode there, and I don't know what it is. And I've seen, like, no mention of it. It's definitely something on the go. Watch this space. I don't know what it's about. Let me just grab... Let me show you. I can put it on the OTG and show you. And I don't know what it is. Wired audience mode. Really could be wired audience mode. But it says connect to a computer. It doesn't say connect to goggles. It says connect to your PC, which is weird. It's in the trailer, is it? The trailer for the Avata 2? So let me go back. They have code that could make the goggles act as a webcam and provide feed over USB. Not sure if it's been activated, though. That's interesting. A wireless live feed. We do have wireless live feed. We have that already. So wireless live feed is already there. Right, let me show you on the menu. Because this isn't what... It's a bit different. Yeah, it's in... Mike's got it. Let me just find my OTG because I've just lost it. There it is. Go to the overhead. Plug my phone in. Fly. Right, let me just... Wait a minute. Let me just get this going. I think I got 2 fly apps open. I have... Do I have to have the drone on? Probably. 2 seconds. My goggles are running low today. Right. Oh, I need to select the controller type there. Doesn't give you camera view without the remote either. Tell you what, it's a lot more fussy to turn on as well than the old one. I don't know if you guys knew that. It's a lot more fussy to turn on. Okay. So, let me show you what I found here. Let me refocus so you guys can see this. Woo! No. There you go. Okay. That'll level up in a second. So, let me show you what this does. So you go into settings, into about, wired OTG connection, and you click that and it's gone. But what it says is connect to a computer. I've plugged it into a computer, but nothing happens. Now I'm trying to make out how to get back. Use fast charging, and it actually says OTG wired connection. Use fast charging cable to connect goggles to computer. I have no idea what that does. No idea what that does at all. I have tried it on the PC and I couldn't find anything. Get a dongle. So I had to plug it in USB-C to USB-C, USB-A to C. FPV sim, potentially. OTG dongle. I don't know if you'd need to use the OTG. You wouldn't use the OTG dongle because that's going to USB the wrong way. I wouldn't have thought you'd use that. I did try without the OTG cable. What I tried it with is, well, I'll do it now. So if I go in, now it asks me to connect to the PC. Now the computer picks something up, and it picks up the SD card from the goggles. And it puts it up on the display. No, they asked for a regular USB to USB-C. So you don't need the OTG dongle. Yeah. So that's using it straight USB. And all it's done is opened up the SD card. Unless it's just a way of getting to the SD card. Check OBS webcam sources. It's a Risk Live, but let me have a look. OBS camera, capture device. Let me just see. No, nothing new. Maybe Goggle 3 manual. It's weird. Yeah, the SD card mounts without doing it on these as well. But it still mounts the SD. So I don't know what it does. All it says is use fast charging cable to connect to the computer. Weird. Windows Device Manager. I got so much in Device Manager, I don't know what to find. There used to be problems connecting USB-C only laptops with a slight... Yeah. Do you have an Apple USB to HDMI? Not on me. Monitor that supports USB video? I don't know. Could be anything. All I know is there is an option there for it. Very weird. It could be a driver issue, knowing DJI. If it's something new. Do I have a lightning cable? I got lightning cables, yeah. So. Fast charging cable is USB to USB-C. Yeah, but it should work. That was USB 3 I was trying that on. Okay, so just catching down on the chat. So really, look, from an Avata 2 point of view and the Goggles 3, that's really everything I have to say, read the manual, Mike Bundy says. Is it in the manual? I haven't seen it. So did someone say in the DJI advert that, not the ad, the release video, I'm going to have to go to YouTube, that they showed something? It's in the manual. What does it say in the manual? What's it actually say? Page 30. I haven't read the manual. I don't read the manual for DJI stuff. Yeah, bad for life. Yeah, USB 3 gen a lot. Okay, so do we need to get the manual up? Do we? What do they tell us? It is possible it is an app that they haven't released yet. So DJI Avata 2. No, that's the store. I hate that the DJI web. I hate that DJI. They push you to the DJI store before they push you to their website. Quick start guide, user manual. Is it in the Avata 2 user manual or the Goggles 2 user manual, by the way? Page 30, he said, the man. '28 of the Goggles manual. That's the drone manual. Let me find the Goggles manual. I got the remote controller user manual. I haven't got the... Where's the Goggles user manual? And again, DJI have taken me straight to... Where the hell do you find the goggles? DJI FPV. Where the hell are the Goggles 3 listed? I can't find the manual. I can't actually find Type G3 manual. Found it that way. Here we go. Page 28. Let's have a look. Just looking down. Here we go. OTG wired connection. In this mode, the goggles can be connected to a PC via the fast USB charging. Is that it? Is that literally all it says? Page 30. Live view sharing. 3 different methods. Operate live view sharing prior to takeoff. The goggles only support connecting to one mobile device for sharing live view, either wirelessly or wired. When connected to a mobile device, the live view sharing is paused and the goggles switch to real view. When connected to a mobile device, the live view sharing will be paused and viewing so-and-so, so-and-so. No controllers beeping at me. If the goggles are connected to a PC via the USB fast charging project, go to the menu and set settings about and enter the go to export the footage. Really? Okay. So it's really a way of OTG, probably there for Apple. I missed that MK1. Right. Something like that. Continues below. So basically, they've added a mode that probably works with... broadcasting to other goggles. Interestingly, look in the manual. The other set of goggles, 3. Not even a hint of other goggles either. Right. Okay. I think companies to upgrade firmware as well. Yeah, it just seems to be that they've added a special mode, probably for Macs or something like that. Probably that's what it is. It's just weird because we didn't see that mode before. That's what it was. Pretty new. Okay, so I think that's everything to talk about on the Avata. Overall, it's a rather boring drone, but I think DJI have done a good job. There we go. Really now, we're looking for 04. We're looking for... we're looking for 04. We're looking for... Really, what comes next? Is there a way to minimize the sound on the 5D joystick? A hammer. That's probably the easiest way, is a hammer. Haven't stripped this apart yet. Haven't managed a way into this yet. To change that hay. Something's still on. Project left-handed. Yeah, we need a 3D printed case for this. That's left-handed. That's for sure. As a left-handed person, I feel DJI isn't catering for me properly. That's how I feel. Do I know when the drone restarts? The beta flight driver fails. Do you know why when my drone restarts, the beta flight driver fails unless I restart my computer? Sounds like a USB compatibility issue. Try another USB port. FCC Acro will go 62 miles an hour. Strip it down now. No, I haven't found a way into it yet. This is the one thing I haven't found my way into. I've been squeezing it to see. It's clearly clipped together. So from a dismantling point of view, it's clearly clips. I just don't know. There's nothing. There's no way anywhere in this you can get anything really in. I have tried as well. I think you're gonna maul it. If you try. I tried going like with the plastic pry tool. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if DJI never even repair these. I'll be honest, I bet DJI just send it back and just bin it. If they have a problem with one of these, they just bin it. We're interested in seeing the chipset they're using. We don't quite know. It's not a Wi-Fi chipset. It's something else. It would just be interesting to see what it is. I couldn't see it in the goggles because it was under the soldered can. I couldn't actually get to it in the goggles. They hid it under a soldered can that hid it from me. Okay, we're gonna... Any questions, please do put them in the comments below. We have had an incredible amount of people here tonight. I want to say, first of all, please make sure you've given the video a like. I want to say a huge thank you to all the super chats and everything on this stream, but also the others as well from the teardown. They've been really appreciated. They really, really have. I will have some videos coming out this week. There'll be a full view on this, a review on this. As for anything else that's been going on in FPV, because believe it or not, other things have happened this week. I was flying this today. This is the new Mach 5 Sport from iFlight. This launched a few days ago. It is one of their bind and fly race quads. It is the analog version. I'll be honest. I'm not a racing pilot by any means. I'm not barely a freaking pilot, as I've learnt today for trying to fly. This is probably the first time I've had a chance to fly with a decent quad for a while, because we've actually had the weather. And I'll be honest, this is a very nice quad. It's got this plastic shell assembly. There is a video coming on this probably tomorrow, actually, that actually lifts. So if you do that, you can flip it up like that. Yeah, that camera angle I set, because that's how windy it was here. It's a really nice flying quad. A really nice flying quad. This is the analog version with the 600mm blitz. You can get it in the stripped down version as well. Arm changes on this are very quick. 2 screws and the arms come out. You've got the shark fin on top. You've got the iFlight analog camera up front there. Really straightforward to swap over. It's a really clean build from iFlight, actually. It really is. It's a very nice little quad. A very nice little quad indeed. If I just zoom out a little bit. And wait for that. It is. I got 0 complaints. The bat mount is spot on. Yeah, it's really clean and tidy. The bat mount is absolutely bang on. Straight in there. I was running this with 1500 milliamp hour 4S. Yeah, sub 250. No, 308 grams. Ambidextrous arms. You know what? I don't know on that. I'm not sure. I need to check that. I took an arm off, but I didn't check if they were ambidextrous. I think they must be. But I need to check that. Yeah, look, you've got to take into account, this is a bind and fly racer. They do a naked version of this as a racer as well. It comes in at about 485 grams without the props and nuts on. I'll be honest, it flies really well. I was really impressed with how it flies out the box. What mil arms? I think they're either 6 or 7 mil. Let me just check. They are decent. Look, I think if you're someone that's into racing and you race yourself, you're going to build a quad. 6 mil arms. That was over 6 then. That was 5.45 according to that. Yeah, 5.45. How bad are the props in the view? Let me show you. Let me show you. I'll be honest, right? It's the first time I've really had a chance to fly. And I think it flew quite well. It's raw archive. iFlight videos. Where is it? iFlight videos. R5. View large. Let me just wait for them to come in. Does it actually go Mach 5? No. The Mach R5. Which video am I looking for? Not that one. Not that one. No, I need to... Do you know, OBS has now decided, look. OBS has now decided that it wants to put the video on its side at all times. Just unbelievable. No. Thank you. Right, desktop. Now, I was getting a little bit of interference. You can see there on the HD0... view. Actually, I lands in a second on this because you can see I had water on the lens. And I was like, it does my head in when that happens. So I landed it straight down. I was having to just throw about on the field just to see what it was like. And I was like, nope, that's doing my head in. Nope, not having it. Right there. Again, it was very... Yeah, there you go. Look, I was like, no, I'm not having that. Not having that at all. I had some water off the landing. I was getting interference. This is a TBS backflip to get the water off. It was like a tiny drop. I did do some moves to try and get rid of it, but it didn't work. Stop it. I'm trying to move the right video here. Why can't I not move the right source? That one. There. I was just pushing it around just to have a feel. It's the first time I've flown for ages, and I was just getting used to seeing how it moved. It was so windy. It was ridiculous again. I wanted to just see how... You could tell in a minute which side the wind was one way, because one side the drift is crazy. I need to sort of just look... This quad, and I'll be honest, is asking for a conversion into HD. It really is. A HD 0 on this, I think, would be fantastic. Let me just put the other video on, because that was probably the last one I did. This one, I did a bit more. Why is it keep resetting the geometry? Why is it now applying this every time I open a video? Oh, I'm not clicking save, that's why. Yeah, there we go. Right there. I just took it. I was getting quite a lot of bad... I don't know if this was... Can you see the interference? I'm not quite sure where that was coming from. It was... I don't know if it was the HD 0 goggles. It's their own cam. It's their own racing cam. But I didn't see this on the bench testing. It was with the HD 0 goggles. But I didn't see this on the bench testing with the Sky Zones. But yeah, you can see the sort of striping effect, and I just need to look into it a little bit more to understand it. But the camera looks pretty good, to be fair. The camera doesn't look bad. The bench testing, it looked fine. I just don't know. Perhaps there was something on a channel there. There we go. But yeah. I'll be honest, it's a nice quad. It's a really nice little quad. I think as someone who would want to get into racing, it's pretty good. There's not many complaints I have on it. When I did the bag testing, though, I don't know what that interference is. Are they still using the larger motors? So it has got the... Yeah, it's the 2207s. Yes. I'll be honest, it's probably the most enjoyable 20 minutes I've had flying in the last 6 months. 4 months, probably. Yeah, I just don't know what that interference was about. I don't know if it was the Fusion module. I don't know if it was the HD 0 DVR. Yeah, nice quad. I got no complaints. Just no complaints. Buy and fly. $320. Ah, 25mm motors last time. Okay. $320, which I think is decent. 4S or 6S? Well, I was flying it on 6. I was flying it on 6. So, yeah. I like a bit of power. It went like stink. It flew very well on 6S. It looked extremely fish-eyed. It is quite fish-eyed. Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, you shouldn't have been seeing... what voltage you see there? Let's have a look. No, there's no full pack voltage on screen. What rates? As it came, I haven't checked what they are. I haven't checked what they are at the box, but they're very. It's nice, really nice. Going test to chase stuff. As an out the box, I want to have a bit of fun. I tell you what, it reminded me of actually. If you've ever flown like the Emax 3.5-inch quad up there, the HD0 one, was really like that. I really enjoyed it. I'll be honest, probably the most fun 15-20 minutes I've had in a very long period of time. And then I got to fly the Avata today, and I was like, okay, it goes forward, it goes back, it goes side to side. What else does it do? Yeah. It flies really well. It looks like one of those drone camps quads. Don't know. I fly. Yeah. That's why the Avata was boring. Yeah. Because I smashed this around the field for 20 minutes. Nice quad. Really, genuinely. No, it wasn't one battery. That wasn't one pack. Sorry if you that was multiple packs. So it was more like 2 and a bit minutes the way I was pushing it round in the end. But yeah, I might put the review of that live tomorrow. I'm just a bit. I'm a bit annoyed about the recorded footage. I don't know what that interference was. I didn't really notice it in camera view either. I was on race 3. I don't know if there was anything there. Like if I look on the desktop here and show you, I don't know what that is. That banding. What the hell that is, I don't know. I'm a little annoyed about that. What I don't know is it's some interference off the motors, because you can see it there. Weird. Very weird. It could be ESC noise. It could be. And I didn't have it on the bench either. So my view on the bench, if I just show you the Sky Zone test footage. Where is it? This is the Sky Zone test footage on the bench, which has the typical Sky Zone bounce to it. But this was me just testing it here on the bench when I was getting ready to go out. I tested it on the Sky Zones, and it looked okay. Does it have a cap on it? Yes, on the bottom of the motor. But yeah, you're not seeing it there, which is interesting. As for does it have a cap, if you look there, yeah, there's one on the bottom. Probably motor noise, yeah. It's not terrible. The cap on it is a 470 35 volt on the bottom there. That's in the future because your shirt faded. Nicely played. Nicely played. So yeah, we've done that. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is this. I'm actually Okay, this is one of those funny ones. I'm in the middle of testing something. As a creator, you tend to get offered lots of stuff like electric scooters and bikes. And no, I'm not talking about a scooter. But OBS Bot or Ozbot have harassed me about... They've offered me loads of times to try out their camera, one of their webcams. I'm going to move over to it a minute because it's quite a high-level webcam. But I'm doing a test. I'm interested how we can move this into the workflow of the channel. Now, I'm going to move over to it because that's it there. Now, this is their Tally camera. I've got it on. I've had it on the whole stream. Now, it does track. Should track. Has it stopped tracking me? Let me check. Yes, it has. Wait a minute. It is warm. Yeah, I've been trying to get the color right, and it's not. Normal tracking. Is it on yet? There it is. I've got the tracking on. More saturated. Yeah, I've been playing with the color settings, and I need to try and get it a bit better. The saturation there could actually be me. I might have overdone it a bit. Problem is, right, that's default set in there. And that feels a bit lacking. Ooh, what about that? That's pretty good there. But what's cool about this is it has this auto tracking. So the background corner is white but red. That should be red because there's a red lamp there. Now, if I move up, it does track. It's automatic. So if I just move over here and go for a wander, it should keep me in view for the channel. So if I go and move myself over here and get myself back, it actually seems to work very well. It's got a much wider field of view than I'm used to seeing on my camera. If you look at, obviously, if I just swap back to the main a minute, that's my DSLR, and that's that. Hide behind the chair. Does it autofocus close up? It will. So it will do like auto zoom in and stuff like this. So at the moment it's not zoomed in. I can zoom it in like that. Look. Oh God. So that's a bit much. Let's go to say that's still a bit much. Should we go to there? We go to there. So I can go to there. Don't throw away my DSLR. No, I know. But I'm looking at where we can do this on maybe like the PC overhead. It's quite good though. And look at it does track very well. It seems quite soft. It does seem quite soft compared. What's weird is the background looks actually very sharp and I look soft. It's decent. It's not bad, is it? So, and I can move. So if I... It's like having a cameraman, look. It's actually quite good. It's... tracking is awesome. You were software than the back for a moment. Yeah, there is manual focus, so I can. We've got AI human tracking, right? So that's what that's doing at the moment. Let me just find the focus. Where's the focus control? The focus control is white balance, image, auto exposure, autofocus. So I can turn autofocus off, okay? So that's autofocus off. Ooh, let me just see where it is. Oh, I've gone too far. It's a slider. It's not the easiest thing. Ooh, there. I think that's me now in focus, is it not? It looks like I have a cameraman. Yeah, and you can even sort of slow down the movement. If you didn't want it quite so fast, you'd sort of go, okay, keep it slower. So now I can move a bit, but it's not going to sort of catch up to me all of the time. You can do it very fast. I can do fast, right? And it's constantly moving around. So there, I've set it to slow now. It's quite good though. I've been playing with it today. I've only just opened it up. It's still fast. Yeah, it's not slow, is it? It's still a bit fast, really. You'd probably want a bit slower than that. But yeah, quite interesting. As a close-in, I don't know what it's like. I don't know what your thoughts are, how it looks. I don't know if it's good enough in this light. I run the light level in here very low. So this is something this camera is doing something incredibly well with, is because the DSLR, right, so this is tweaked to my personal settings, which takes some doing, but this is a MFT. This is a Panasonic G9 running a 17mm prime. And I'm intrigued how I don't think it looks too bad. Can you get it to nod like the actual cameraman? Do you agree? No. I'm behind the stream. If you read the Avata 2 drone only quick start guide, there's an instructions for it. Thinking the Avata 2 and goggles 2 and Integra. There's instructions for linking the Avata 2 with the goggles. Is there in the quick guide? There's a hint. What's the name again? So this is the Osbot Tally. These are not cheap webcams at all. So this is the Osbot. This company here, OBS Bot or OBSBot. Oh, OBS Bot or OBSBot. I don't know which way we say it. It is this thing here. It is their new AI camera. What's really, really cool about this, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. It will attach straight to your smartphone via Wi-Fi and you can stream directly anywhere because it's got a built-in battery. It's got a built-in anything. It will Wi-Fi stream, auto track. It is a very, very nice piece of kit. It really, really is. If it can track a tiny whoop flying indoors, that's a cool idea. Yeah. And it will go straight onto your smartphone as well, which I'm impressed with. So I am going to do a stream outside with this camera as a test. I'm going to do it at the field. I think it's quite cool. I really do. It's got a whole host of features. I haven't quite worked out the exact technical specs for sensor. Do they tell? Okay, so that's the AI chip. 1/1.8. There we go. 1/1.8. There you go. There you go. Back to DSLR. Okay, so before we... What are the NDI speeds? I don't know the speed, but it does do full NDI. It also has a USB to Ethernet adapter available as well. Don't know the full NDI speeds yet, not tested it. Just seeing if it says here. Max video bitrate's 100 megabits per second, which is very good. Will it fit on a tripod? Don't know. Need to check on the bottom. I didn't look on the bottom if there's a tripod mount. Quite interesting. Okay, so before we wrap this up, let's just finish with a couple of questions. Okay. Will the Goggles 3 have O3 ear unit compatibility? 99% yes, at some point in the future. When can we see this inside? Does it require any account and subscription? No. I think Doug King has one of these for streaming multi-GP races. He may have. It'd be nice if it worked with the Vista. Will we see you again? You should be able to see me now. Yeah, it did feel soft. Yeah, that funny enough, Simon, I noticed that it feels soft. What I don't know though is that the light level in here. I need to take it outside and see how sharp it is. It feels soft in my light level, but that could be a light level issue. So Avata is 03, not 04. New Avata is 04. So where did someone say about the quick start guide? It's hard to look because your skin color goes from pink, red, yellow. Quick drone only quick start guide. So if we have a quick look at this. Downloads. Let me just catch up on the chat. Drone only quick start guide version 1.0. Okay, here we go. DJI drone only quick start guide. Okay, they're talking about that. Check battery level. Yes, yes, yes. Look at that. Look at that. There's a hint for you. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. DJI leaking things themselves. Goggles 2 and Integra. RC Motion 2. Very, very interesting. That's DJI hinting themselves. No mention of the remote controller, though. But there we go. Well, 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 well. Is there a hint for 03 support? Well, it won't be in this, you see. It would be in the quick start guide for the goggles. DJI Goggles 3 downloads. DJI Goggles 3 download center. Manual. So we've only got a user manual. We haven't got... Oh, wait a minute. There was a view all. Yes, there friggin' is. Quick start guide 1.0. Let's just check, shall we? Let's just check. Come on. It's the buttons. That's the... No, there's nothing about linking. That's pretty much the picture I drew for everyone on my stream months ago. Okay, so... Before we finish up, we'll just wrap down on the questions. So we have... Yes, that webcam is expensive. Ian Digression, my favourite printer for TPU, A1 Mini, Bamboo Lab, period. If you don't need anything bigger than the 180 by 180 by 180 print volume, A1 Mini. $250. $250 for a bamboo printer that just works. Get the A1 Mini. Love it, love it, love it. Simple as that. I can't recommend anything else. And I'll be honest then, the A1 is looking pretty good once it's back. I'll be honest, the A1 is looking real good value when it's back. Bamboo, it just works. It just works. It will be 99% O3 compatible. Just curious about the first generations. Yeah, I think the first generations is very up in the air. It's as simple as that. Wasn't it Brandon who said read the manual? It was. Will the O4A unit work with the DJI goggles too? We have no idea. It doesn't exist today. We can't comment on something that doesn't exist. When will your video goggles fee video breakdown come out? Possibly tomorrow night or maybe middle of the week. It will probably be this week. Chance Cliff, without you, I wouldn't know who you are. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, that's it on this one. We're going to call it a night. I want to say thank you to everyone with the incredible super chats. It was brilliant. Thank you for all the help and support. I really do appreciate it. Incredible. Does the moonlight walks in EU actually go to low power mode when switched, or does it need to be? No, CADX, when you turn low power mode off, does go to full RF power. Not like DJI. Behaves normally like the old DJI system. Low power mode off, full RF power. No need to worry about an arming command. It's only O3 that has that stupid quirk. Stay safe. Look after yourselves. I will speak to you again soon.